I'm re-recording this message for quality purposes only. I want to make sure that the algorithm picks up this video and pushes it out as much as possible. I need every person of color, every black person to hear this video, to hear this message, okay? The Trump administration is looking to reinstate segregation for its federal workers, okay? Segregation, to which I literally said in my last video, and I'm going to say it again. Bring back segregation if you want to. Bring it back if you want to. You want to play them games? We can play them games. And like always, go and fact check this. You can find it on ABC News. You can find it on Politico, not political, but politico.com. You can find it on usnews.com and etc. Now, this is coming directly from the article, okay? Let's read. Segregated facilities could make a comeback as Trump's administration lifts discrimination ban on federal contracts. According to a public memo from General Services Administration, the GSA, the federal government will no longer prohibit contractors from having segregated waiting rooms, restaurants, and water fountains in order to secure government contracts. The memo reportedly states when issuing new solicitations or contracts, do not include any of the following provisions or clauses: the prohibition of segregated facilities. This move aligns with President Trump's broader executive order to repel diversity, equity, and inclusion (DEI) initiatives within the government and across the country. Now companies will have more leeway to decide whether or not to have segregated facilities, which include restrooms, restaurants, waiting areas, parking lots, and locker rooms. And like I said in the last video, please don't threaten us with a good time. Please don't threaten us with a good time. Bring back segregation if you want to. Bring back segregation if you want to. Let our black teachers educate our black students. Let our black physicians treat our black patients. Let our black bankers and accountants help manage and help black people better manage their money. Let our black athletes, okay, play for their own black teams. All right, let our black people represent us in the Olympic Games. Bring it back all the way. Don't make it just a federal thing. Don't make it just a federal thing. Bring it back nationwide. Bring it back nationwide, because I promise you the black people of today are not the black people of back then. We didn't know any better. Now that we know what your spaces looks like, we don't give a fuck about being included in your spaces. How about that? This is not the game that you want to play. This is not the game that you want to play. I promise you, the black community, you see how we're thriving right now? Just minding our business. We're not even doing anything. We're just minding our business. We all collectively said we're not coming outside for any of you people, and we're good. My bank account is thriving. I know a lot of other black people whose bank accounts is thriving right now. I promise you, bring back segregation. And you know what? I'm going to even call your bluff. Bring back segregation for federal workers, and you don't even have to make an announcement about it being nationwide. We'll do it for you. We will do it for you. We will move in accordance to what you started. I promise you that. Let it be let it be federal. Let any of our black federal workers be like, yeah, so they've officially started segregation. Word? We bringing that shit on the outside too. We bringing that on the outside too. We have black-owned restaurants. We have black-owned businesses. All we need is to get our Black Wall Street up and running again. And this time, we dare y'all to try to bring that shit down. Blood will be shed, baby. Blood will be shed, I promise you. So go ahead. Go ahead. Play if you want to. I'm telling you, outside of all the atrocities that Donald Trump will commit within these next 4 years, one of the things he will be accredited for is finally uniting all black people. All black people. I promise you that. I promise you that. Bring it all the way the fuck back. Let us go back in history. We have been separating our black dollars from you. Please, we would love to be able to separate our talent too. We would love to be able to separate our talent too. Let's see who really is the superior race.
Whenever something happens in United States of America and it feels like a step backward, people immediately look at black Americans like, are you guys okay? Are you scared? Are you gonna survive this? What are you gonna do now? And that has always been the same thing. And you'd think that this thing will break the black Americans. And all these kind of things happen because we have known that black Americans have been the first emotional responders when there is anything that kind of affects their civil rights.
They're bringing back segregation because they know a world without black and brown people is coming, and it terrifies them. Trump just rolled back protections that ban segregated facilities for federal contractors, and the internet's acting shocked. But me, I'm not surprised, clearly. This is what desperate power looks like. This isn't about restoring order or merit based hires. This is a tantrum from an almost 80-year-old man. White supremacy is in its flop era, and it's grasping at any old trick it can find. Segregation? Really? I feel like that's how we know they're scared. Because let's be real, black folks, we are unbothered. You can't shake people that have been surviving state sanctioned violence since the dawn of time. We've had underfunded schools, medical negligence, and cultural erasure since day one. We don't panic when the system turns on us. We expect it. We don't fold, we multiply. We turn every block into a blueprint, every struggle into a strategy, and every threat into a legacy. As I said in my pinned video, a world without black and brown people is coming, not because we're disappearing, because we're divesting from their politics, from their corporations, their watered down narratives, their respectability games. We want no parts. We've seen what happens when we show up and we make America run, but this time we're choosing to build our own instead. And that's what scares them, not the loss of power, but the loss of relevance. Because without our culture, our labor, our innovation, our souls, what is America really? Let them scramble. Let them cling to segregation like it's going to save them. We've already moved on. And when that world without us fully arrives, they're going to finally understand what unbothered really looks like.
All right, I'm just waking up, and yes, they are legally bringing segregation back. The Justice Department just dismantled a decades-old desegregation order in Louisiana, and now they're coming for the rest. It's not just activists that are raising the alarm. This image came from Bernice King, the daughter of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who knows exactly what's at stake. The order they ended was put in place in 1966 to keep school segregation in check, because even after Brown v. Board, schools across the South kept locking black students out of equal education. Now, nearly 60 years later, officials are calling these protections a historical wrong and saying it's time to wipe them away. And I already know some people will say, well, desegregation was never good for black people anyway, and there's truth to that. Desegregation often meant shutting down black schools, firing black teachers, and forcing black kids into racist, hostile environments with zero protection. And that wasn't liberation, that was assimilation under threat. But let's be clear, what's happening now isn't about fixing that harm. It's about removing accountability. It's about making it easier for schools to return to segregation without the courts watching. The answer to failed desegregation wasn't resegregation, it was reinvestment, community power, and equity. But what's happening now isn't about fixing the failures of the past. It's about removing the last legal tools communities had to stop segregation from coming back. Ending desegregation orders doesn't just allow inequality to grow quietly, it creates the legal conditions for public school districts to explicitly segregate again by race, religion, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, and more. It invites other school systems to follow Louisiana's lead. This isn't just a rollback, it's a blueprint. And without resistance, the future will look far too much like the past, only now it's been made legal. I'm Jared, a special education PhD candidate at Penn State, black and here to educate, and I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
Of late, these people are reacting differently because if you're a black American or you're black in this country, you don't grow up believing that this system is settled. You grow up knowing that this system can change its mind any moment, and that understanding has not actually started today. It has not even started with Donald Trump. Neither has it started with this sort of politics that you people are having. This thing actually started generations ago, and that's why Black Americans are not even scared when these kind of allegations have been put through. And now, the relationship which Black Americans have built with America itself, it has never been built on trust. It was built on survival because we have seen that slavery itself taught their ancestors something early on. And that thing which has actually been taught to these ancestors is that that country will get to use you. And when they've benefited maximally from you, they'll now discount you. And now they'll go ahead and write the whole story. And when slavery actually came to an end, the control which that slavery had actually did not end. And the whole thing just changed its method. And now, if you hear these people talking about segregation wasn't some random create. It was a strategy which was used to actually separate people and also have these people to have limited resources, and also they were able to control their movement and also how they controlled their money. And if you look keenly, you'll understand that this is how power actually gets to work. And black Americans have learned to live inside that kind of reality. And it's not something which is comfortable, but they are living there diligently. So when people come ahead and talk about segregation, like it is something which is shocking news, a threat to most black Americans, you'll hear them that they're not even panicking. They hear something which is so familiar to them because segregation never fully disappeared from their midst, because that thing just got quieter. You know, they were just in different neighborhoods or in different schools, they had different access. And also, all these things had different kind of outcomes when it comes to apply in different races. And now you will come to understand that this has been the same logic all along. And the part that actually most other races don't actually come to understand or come in terms with is that the most damaging part about segregation is not even about the separation. It is about the powerlessness, because when you segregate a certain race, you render them powerless and not being allowed to decide, not being allowed to build, and also not being allowed to protect what you've created. That's what gets to hurt most black Americans. And yet, even in the midst of that, black Americans have even built anyway. They've built their churches, they have had their schools, businesses, and also banks. And if you look at all those amenities, you'll come to realize that that's a whole ecosystem, and they did not even happen because the system allowed it. It happened because the community had no choice rather than just making these things for themselves. And when this kind of system works too well, these people usually find a way of destroying it. They usually want a way of making sure that these black Americans don't get to survive any longer. And this history has been there before. So when you fast forward to now, protections are kind of coming to weaken. You know, the languages are disappearing, and so the system is quietly stepping back to those old days. And people are expecting to hear some fear, but fear is not the dominant emotion here. Awareness is. And we've seen that black Americans are aware of themselves, because the difference is the difference now is that we are not actually confused about who we are dealing with. That's what black Americans are saying. They don't actually believe that inclusion automatically means safety anymore. They have actually learned to access all these things without ownership. And that's just another form of dependency. And black Americans today, they can understand something kind of deeper, because they have survived this kind of all these kind of things without inclusion before. They have survived without protection before. They have also seen what struggle is, and now this kind of thing which is coming is just a fragmentation of what they have been living in. And that's why at the moment when that news broke, it did not break a majority of these black Americans. It just reminded them that they are relying too heavily on a system that was actually never decided to work with them in mind, because they were never even involved in those systems when they were being created. The only thing which was involved is that they keep them oppressed, they keep them down, they keep them away from amenities. And this is not about separation, it is about what the effects of these people are expected to react. Because if they are expecting that black Americans are going to fear it, because fear only works when you've forgotten your own history. And the black Americans clearly we've seen that they've not even forgotten their history here. So let us know what you think about this kind of segregation that Black Americans talking about. And if you resonate with it, you can share your thoughts down below in the comment section, and also subscribe to our channel if you have not done so yet.